is, what do you do about the pull-up? So for this one, I'm actually integrating a concept of irradiation, total muscular tension, total body muscular tension, and also concepts of power breathing. So these actually will spill over to other things that involve particularly heavy lifts, but even lighter lifts. And it'd be interesting for you to try this if you want to go do curls and things, just how much more you can lift, and or also how much lighter the weight that you go to pick up feels if you use these same principles. But these can be very much applied to preparing yourself for doing the pull-up, particularly this chin and hold, okay? So it's really about locking yourself in and just holding yourself there for as long as you can. What's interesting about the body is that muscles by themselves in isolation are actually relatively weak. And even if they're not acted on directly by another muscle, let's say my shoulder, for example. My shoulder can't work on my hand, my grip, for example. But if I tense the shoulder, it automatically increases the strength in my fingers by a large percentage. There's silly studies that have been done, something about clenching your butt can actually increase your grip strength by like 10%. All right, so go figure. Well, anyway, the thing is you want to use that to your advantage. So if I'm going to go do a curl and I lift the weight up with just my bicep, I can maybe do 40 pounds. If I crush that bar with my hand as tight as I can, now it's up to 43 pounds. Now I get a little wrist action in it, 45 pounds. Now I suck my gut in, clench my butt, pull my lats in, squeeze it like this, press down with my legs into the floor, and bring it up. I'm up to 50 pounds. Now I add power breathing, where I breathe in, and then as I breathe about half out, and then lock in like I'm going to get punched in the stomach. And then as I do my move, I breathe out as I do the movement, and then breathe in quickly as I release, and then same thing. I'll even increase the weight even more. So it's a similar sort of exercise I'm going to have you do, preparing yourself to do the hang. So first thing is working on the hand and arm portion. So just that, make a fist and turn it into a white knuckle fist. I mean, just as hard as you possibly can. Now add the wrist. Tight, tight, tight. Now pull up using your bicep. Curl, 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 as tight as you can. Okay? If you want to add the lats to it and suck your arm in, even better. And then release. Shake it out. Same thing opposite side. Start with the fist, wrist, bicep. Suck it in and release. Okay? So you can do that as an isometric training exercise and hold it for longer, but here we're just doing it to wake everything up and get that sense down. So you do it a few times on each side. Once you get to that full squeeze, only for a couple seconds, again, you're not trying to wear yourself out, then relax. Make sure you shake everything out in between. You don't want to cramp up. And then next movement. Okay? Next movement is going to be working on getting the other parts of the body engaged. All right? So this time what you're going to do is you're going to lock your breath, meaning that from about mid-breath, you're going to take a full breath in, let it about halfway out, and then like you're getting ready to get the punch to the stomach. You just lock yourself, right? So what that does is that tightens your abs, but not like sucked in. You're just right in the middle, locked in, right? At the same time, you're going to punch your butt and rock it in slightly, okay? And then even better is if you can lock your legs into the floor. Now, obviously, when you do the hanging movement, you're not going to be able to do the locking of your legs. But if you can, while you're doing it, you could, as your legs are crossed, it sounds weird, but if you push them together, squeeze your legs together, you'll actually, again, get more of that irradiation. So if you want to practice while you're standing, you can try, like, squeezing the floor with your legs, too, as you do this. And so, again, it's about locking yourself tight, getting ready to take that punch to the stomach. And then when you think you got it, relax. Breathe out, relax. It's not a workout. And then do it again. Lock, tight, tight, okay? Now, I'm not really holding my breath, I'm just keeping myself locked in. All right, so you do that a few times, and then the next exercise is going to be adding the power breath to it. Now, obviously, if you're hanging in one place, if you're doing a movement that's going to take several seconds, you can't hold your breath really that long. Now, is it true you can hold your breath at least a minute or so and be able to max the test? Absolutely. And for those who can do that, go ahead. The thing is you want to be able to do a controlled breath, a power breath. All right. It's been demonstrated that, for example, with karate experts, and they do the breathing out with the strike, bam, in that instant that they apply the power. Obviously, that won't work if you're doing like a bench press. You need to be able to breathe out as you do the movement. Here, it's going to be even longer, so obviously you can't breathe out for 2 minutes. But what you can do is you can breathe out and then breathe in while still keeping that tension. So this is what the practice is. So you tense yourself again, lock yourself in. And what you're doing is you're breathing in. I like to breathe in through my nose for this and then out through my mouth. It helps keep that sense of feel. Some people can breathe in. When I breathe in through my mouth, I tend to relax my abdomen. That's not what you want to do. You want to keep your abdomen locked tight, like you're breathing into the upper part of your lungs, and then breathe out from your belly, like you're wringing the air out of your stomach, and it's having to be resisted as it comes out. So what can happen is as you're holding on to something, you're going to have that air in, but it's still tight, like you're like somebody's sitting on your chest, and you're trying to breathe in, and then when you breathe out, you don't want it to squeeze any further, you don't want them to sink, so, and then when it feels like you're about to lose your strength, that's when you repressurize. So you're always keeping a little bit of pressure in the whole time. So the exercise is to just sit there and go through a few cycles of that. If it feels like you're like getting winded or dizzy or whatever, just stop. Just stop. Okay? Again, it's not trying to wear you out or anything. You just and then again. So you don't have to make faces. It just seems to work better if you purse your lips a little bit and that way. Okay? So that's the breathing exercise. Now what we're going to do is going to put all together. So the all together is just that. What I would recommend is lock yourself, get a good breath, and then squeeze, wrap, and hold. And relax. So you want a couple of cycles of breath to kind of work through that. Okay? Now, and it's not mentioned in here, but one of the things you want is when you grab the bar to do this, before you step off the box to move, lock and tense. And then as you lean into it and they bring the box away, your maximum tension as your weight becomes supported by you. If you wait until as the weight drops and then you try to tense against it, it's too late. So this is why you want to be locked in both the butt, the abdomen, the lats, arm, everything locked in, tight, 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 tight. And then as soon as the weight goes away, it's almost like they didn't even move you. You're already there. You're just locked in that position. So that's what the purpose of all this is. And what you will find is that you can hold this tension in your arms and so forth for plenty of time to do this exercise. And even if you start to lose it, you're like, oh, I'm getting tired, I have to breathe, As long as you can keep sort of half pressurized, breathe like this, and maybe say, if you're already 30 seconds or so into it, you'll do so much better. Okay? It's a lot better than trying to hold it, and then you kind of get weak, and then try to pull yourself, and then try to pull yourself. Muscles don't work that way. Okay? So, that's it for neuromuscular activation.